Hi there. My name is Zoe, and I'm currently getting a PhD at Harvard. I never could have gotten there without College Insights, so I'm thrilled to be here with you today helping you achieve your academic dreams as well. The reading comprehension part of the SAT has three general types of passages. You'll have short passages, those are 10 or 15 lines long. You'll have long passages that are between 60 and 100 lines, and then you'll have dual passages, and those are paired passages about similar subjects. Topics that you're going to see are science, social science, humanities, and fiction. Science passages are pretty self-explanatory, and those can be the most straightforward. Social science passages might be about economics or politics. Humanities might be about art or literature or history. And fiction passages are just like opening up a book in the middle. Before I tell you how to read the passage, I'm going to go over 4 things not to do, the thou shalt nots of reading comprehension.
If we were to take a look at the math that's being tested on the SAT, you'd find that it's pretty basic. It's algebra, arithmetic, and geometry. The test makers would like you to think that there's some algebra 2 on the question or on the test, but there really isn't. They deal with functions, and most of us have seen functions by the time we are in algebra 1. So the trouble with the test is that for a lot of you, you're basically forgetting a lot of what's being tested. For instance, we all know what even and odd numbers are. Okay, 1 is odd, 2 is even, 9 is odd. How about 0? Is 0 even, odd, or neither? You'd be surprised how many people think it's neither, but 0 is actually even. Another thing that we talk about in math are prime numbers. And most of you know that the definition of a prime number is something which is divisible only by itself in 1. So a number like 5 or 7 or 11. How about the number 1? Is 1 prime? Certainly looks like it should be, but it's the exception. So 1 is not prime. So what you're going to find on this test is that a lot of this stuff goes back to 5th and 6th grade, when you may not have been paying as much attention as you should have been. So we're going to spend some time reviewing all these concepts so that we're going to take you right through 7th grade math all the way through the first part of Algebra 2. The math section is by far and away one of the most coachable sections on the SAT. I fully expect that you'll raise your scores by at least 100 points in this section, and if you're scoring below 550 right now, I'd expect even more.
First of all, and most importantly, your goal is actually not to comprehend the passage, because you just don't have time to read it all the way through. Your goal is to get as many questions right as you can. So don't waste time trying to memorize what's written, because you'll just get lost. Second, don't start by reading the questions, because that's another huge waste of your valuable time. If you read the questions first, it just gives you a general idea of what the passage is about, and then you still have to go back and read them again. Third, don't underline what you think is important information, because nothing in the passage is important unless it helps you answer a question. If you've underlined information, you'll be tempted to use it later, whether it helps you or not. And fourth, it's really important not to do too much. So most of you shouldn't be answering all of the questions. Although this is an open book test, you really need to take time to answer all of the questions correctly. And so that means that many of you are going to skip some of the questions in reading comprehension. We'll go over individualized pacing strategies at the end of this module.
Pretty straightforward geometry question. We're told that y equals 60. And we're trying to figure out how much larger the perimeter of this one is than the perimeter of this one. So if this is x and this is x, it means they're equal. And because this side is 8, this side also has to be 8. So the perimeter of our first one is 8 plus 5, which is 21. And for this one, they tell us that y is 60, which means that 60, 60, that also has to be 60, so it equals 180. So our sides here are 5, 5, and 5. So 5 times 3 is 15. So 21 minus 15 equals 6. And that is answer choice C.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a genuine SAT question from your workbook, and it involves a train which is traveling one direction at 30 miles an hour and comes back the other direction at 60 miles an hour. And when you have your answer, if you could click it now. Okay, nice work. What you picked was answer choice C, 45, which is exactly what the Educational Testing Service wanted you to pick. I bet you that what you did is you added 30 and 60 together and you got 90, and you divided by 2 and got 45, and you saw it as an answer choice and you thought, hot damn, I'm going to Harvard. The test makers want to make sure that only the highest scoring math students get the most difficult questions correct. So what they'll do is they'll put answer choices in there which will trap almost everyone else. So if you're at the end of a math section and you can do a little bit of math and come up with an answer choice, it will be wrong. We call these answer choices bait. And on this question, the bait was answer choice C. Okay, on our first question, if we have a train going 1,200 miles at 30 miles an hour and then coming back at 60 miles an hour, the bait answer choice is the one that you kind of really don't think about, but you still do. Okay, without much thought, you can take 30 and 60 and add it together and divide by 2 and come up with 45. And the thing to remember is that that answer choice is incorrect, so you would cross it off. Think of it this way. If you're doing word association, the first thing that jumps into your mind is going to be the wrong answer on a difficult question. So if I were to say to you, give me your first reaction if I say up, down, you're probably going to say down. If I say left,
right,
hopefully you're thinking right. And if I say peanut butter, jelly, the odds are your brain should be thinking jelly. The thing to remember is that when you get to the end of a given section in math, these questions and answers, if your question is peanut butter, make sure that you're crossing off the answer choice that looks like jelly, because it's there to trap you.
Guys, just thought you might want to know, sales aren't up, they're down. Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about how to actually read the passage. Like we said, you're not going to read it straight through. Your goal the first time is just to skim the passage, get a general idea of what the topic is about, and what each paragraph is saying. The majority of reading comprehension passages are written in a pretty traditional format, kind of like a 5-paragraph essay. So you have a topic sentence, followed by supporting information in each paragraph. The majority of SAT reading comprehension passages are written in a fairly traditional format, kind of like a 5-paragraph essay. So you'll have a topic sentence followed by supporting information. First, many of them will have an italicized introduction. Don't skip that because it gives you a general idea of what the passage is about. Then you want to start by reading the first couple sentences of the passage, and then skip down to the next paragraph, read the first couple sentences of that paragraph, skip down to the next paragraph, do the same thing, etc., till you get to the end of the passage, and then you want to read the very last sentence to get the conclusion. It shouldn't take more than a couple minutes to skim the passage the first time through. Remember, your object is just to get a general idea of what the passage is saying and what each paragraph is talking about. So skimming is a great way to do that.
Okay, question number 19, we were told that our triangle here, x, y, z, is equilateral, and each of the sides has a length of 2. So basically this is 2, and that's 2. And because it's inscribed in this circle, basically we know that this xw and wz are the same, so this is going to be 1. And we need to figure out the area of the circle. Okay, if we just take this as a separate right triangle, we know that the sides are x 2x and x times the square root of 3 for this 30, 60, 90 triangle, which is what we have. And so wy equals the square root of 3. So half of that would be the radius, which is the square root of 3 divided by 2. And the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. And this would work out to be square root of 3 squared is 3 over 2 squared, which is 4, times pi, which is 3 pi over 4. And that one is answer choice C.
Oh man, I've got to get serious about my business. Everybody's got a high traffic site. Everybody's into this Web 2.0 stuff. I'm sitting here on a rock. Yeah, I need traffic. My business is going nowhere. Everybody's got something going on with me. I just can't seem to get... Whoa. Be cool, man. Nobody saw you. Be cool.
Another thing that the test makers will do is they will include answer choices which were already used in the question. And in this question, what we had is a train traveling 30 miles an hour in one direction and then turning around and coming back at 60 miles an hour. So the numbers 30 and 60 are also bait. So let's take a look at this question and let's take a look at what we can do. So what we decided is that answer choice C, which is 45, was wrong because it's too easy. When you get to a difficult question, you're usually going to have to do some difficult math to get the correct answer. We also decided that 30 and 60 are incorrect because those are numbers which were in the question to begin with that showed up as an answer choice. Okay, so what we have now is we've eliminated 3 choices, so we have it down to 2 possibilities. Here's where you can use common sense. If you are on a long trip and in one direction you get to drive 60 miles an hour, but driving the other direction you get stuck in traffic and you can only average 30 miles an hour, where do you spend more time? Driving 30 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour? Well, the answer is you're going to spend more time driving 30 miles an hour. So if you had to guess, with our 2 choices of 40 and 50, which one do you think is going to be correct? It's going to be 40. And actually, if you were to do this question the traditional math way, it's not that difficult. Let me show you how to do this. Now, the actual way that you would solve this mathematically would be to decide how long it took him to do the first part. So he's going 1,200 miles, and he's going 60 miles an hour, and that will take him 20 hours. And then for the second part, he's still going 1,200 miles, but this time he's driving 30 miles an hour, which is going to take him 40 hours. So our total distance traveled is going to be 1,200 plus 1,200, which is 2,400. And our total time is going to be 20 plus 40, which is 60. And 2,400 divided by 60 equals 40, which is the correct answer.
Okay, so you are officially good at the critical reading section of the SAT because you're already scoring above 600. My goal and your goal should be to get your score into the 700s, or if you're already scoring above 700, let's shoot for a perfect score. You shouldn't plan to leave any of the questions blank on this section. The most important thing for you to do is answer the questions in order of difficulty. Do the easy and medium questions first, and then save the difficult questions for last when you know the most about the passage. If you're having a hard time choosing between a couple of answer choices, it may be easier to figure out which one is wrong rather than trying to figure out which one is right.